mental health moment, right? Today, I want to talk about 5 myths about men's mental health. 5 myths about men's mental health. And the focus of these mental health moments is ultimately to increase the awareness around the topic of mental health. And in addition to doing that, we want to provide some tangible strategies. And also within that, we increase the awareness, provide tangible strategies, but encourage people to ultimately go out and do what they need to do so that they can become their best selves, right? So 5 myths about men's mental health. The first one that I want to kick off is this one right here is the fact that real men don't ask for help. I don't know when this began to be a thing, but I know for me personally, hmm for me growing up, a lot of times when I was in a position to where I needed help, I would just try to navigate and not ask the question, right? I would try to figure it out for myself. I wouldn't want to ask for help. I wouldn't want to ask for assistance. And I just think that this is one of those challenges that we have as men and as women and as different individuals out there. The challenge is we don't ask for help even though we need it, right? We've all heard the phrase, mm, 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 mm. Fake it till you make it, right? Have you heard that phrase before? Fake it till you make it. And this is a phrase that I think, I mean, I don't know when it came to be a thing, but it never helps anyone. So we go through and we try to fake it until we make it, and we don't ask for help. We suffer in silence. We suffer by ourselves because we just don't ask for help. So that's the first myth. Real men don't ask for help. The second myth is, well, I mean, what's the point of going to therapy, right? What's the point of talking about it? It's not going to change anything. What's the point of sharing my emotions? It's not going to do anything for anybody. And I think this is one of those areas where I was exposed personally, and I thought, well, I don't want to talk about my feelings. And even when I was in college and I was hanging out with different friends and stuff like that, I would never take the time to have certain conversations. And I see that how that's impacted me and now where I am right now today and me being married, I've had to grow in the area of communication because of this potential myth that talking about your emotions won't change anything. And we began to assume and we began to feel that nobody out there cares about our emotions. Nobody out there cares what we feel. And then we just quiet our feelings. And then by us quieting our feelings, now we're put in a position to where we just push them down, push them down, push them down. And then eventually we end up exploding because we never took the time to communicate what we're feeling to where we can release what we're feeling. We can get an understanding on both parties and then begin to move forward from that particular issue, from that particular problem. So talking about your emotions won't change anything is the second myth regarding men's mental health. This is one that um I know, I know that I've heard a lot. And I'm grateful for my dad because my dad is not one who instilled any of these beliefs for me. However, this third one right here, real men don't cry. Real men don't cry. Real men just suck it up. They put some dirt on it. They keep it moving because men don't cry. And thinking about this one is funny to me personally because you can catch me any day of the week. I might be watching a cartoon. I might be watching a romantic movie. Uh, I might be watching The Notebook, right? And every once in a while, in a good romance movie, you'll see me shed a tear. I'll shed two. But real men don't cry. this is one of the reasons why some of us as men are broken, because we don't purify our soul, as my friend Devontae calls it. In purifying the soul, he just would begin to talk about and say that that's us crying. Sometimes we need to cleanse the palate. Let it flow. Let the tears go down your face sometimes. Release that pain. Release that emotion. Release that pressure. Whatever it is you're feeling, you got to get that thing off of you. Real men don't cry. Don't buy into the myth. Don't believe the hype. Because sometimes we need to cry. Sometimes the world just gets heavy on our back. Sometimes life is just stressing us out. We need to just release that thing. Real men don't cry is the third myth. The fourth myth I want to share: men should be able to control their emotions. You're a man. Tighten up. You need to reel that in, son. You should be able to control your emotions. When life hits us all, there are some things that we just can't control. If we lose one, if we lose a significant other, if we lose a championship game, sometimes we can't control what we feel because we've never been in that place before. So men should be able to control their emotions. Why? Right? Why should we be able to control our emotions? Sometimes we can't reel it in because we don't know what we're facing. We've never been there. We never had the tools to navigate through. So all of us don't know how to be able to control our emotions. All of us don't know what we do to decrease stress, decrease anxiety. All of us don't know, because the statistics show that a lot of times young men are brought up in homes, and children are brought up in homes without fathers, or by a single parent mother, or maybe even they're brought up with their father, and the father didn't have time to show you how to handle your emotions, how to deal with this, how to deal with that, how to cope with this or cope with that. So men should be able to control their emotions. I mean, maybe, but not necessarily. And once again, these are the 5 myths about men's mental health. And then the last one is showing emotions is viewed as weakness. Showing emotions is viewed as weakness. And this one particularly hit me, because as I speak with different groups around the country, athletic programs, young professionals, showing emotions is one of the things that I've learned here, being married now 9 months. And even the time just dating my wife, I've begun to learn and I've begun to realize that if I'm not able to show emotion, if I'm not able to communicate with my wife or anybody else out there, if you're not able to communicate with your partner or significant other, then you're not giving them something that they need from you, because they're not going to get it from anybody else. So I had to learn how to show emotion, navigating through this thing of vulnerability, navigating through the place of being able to empathize. It doesn't make you weak because you show emotion. It doesn't make you weak because you're sad today. It doesn't make you weak because you're happy. Showing emotion lets others know that you're a human being. It allows you to connect with people, because that's one thing that we all have as humans. You cut us, we'll all bleed. But on the emotional side, you celebrate to show that you're excited or happy about something. You might shed a tear, you might cry to let us know that you're sad or you're hurt or you're distraught about something. Either way, it comes down to knowing yourself. And as you begin to navigate through life and navigate through these day-to-day challenges and navigate through corporate relationships, wherever it might be, there's going to be a point in time where emotions come to the forefront. There's going to be a point in time to where you have to be able to communicate what you're going through if you desire to build effective relationships. If you desire to have true and real connections with people, you have to be able to go deep. And I'm saying that because my best friend, Mahari Takai, and I know he wouldn't have a problem with me saying this, but there have been times we've prayed together. We've cried together. We've gone to church together. And these were times where I couldn't control my emotions. These were times where I'm breaking down in the car and me and Mahari are talking and I'm just crying and I'm trying to wipe my tears away. And then this emotion is just hitting me heavy. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to say. And it was just sloppy crying. But now thinking about it, I'm grateful that I was able to show that emotion with my friend, with my brother. I'm grateful that I didn't believe, number one, real men don't ask for help. If you never ask for help, then you're going to struggle in silence and you're going to struggle solo. And if you're solo, you're just going down. You don't have that level of accountability. You don't have that support system. You don't have people who can encourage you and build you up because they don't know what you're struggling with. So don't believe that first myth, real men don't ask for help. Ask for help when you need it. Don't struggle just as you're in the weight room and you're struggling with lifting, you have a spotter. And you even have a spotter before you struggle because they know that the weight's going to get heavy and they're there to help lighten the load. The second one, talking about your emotions won't change anything. Have you done it before? Right? Maybe you've talked to somebody and maybe it wasn't the right one for you to talk to. Try talking to somebody else. Understanding that talking about your emotions and sharing what you feel will begin to change your situation because you'll begin to feel lighter. You'll begin to feel that weight lifted up off of your chest. And your mind will be more so at ease. Real men don't cry. If you feel the need to cry, let that thing out. If you feel that you need to cry, let that thing out. Because if you hold it in, it's going to continue to eat at you. And as it eats at you, it's going to affect you on a mental level. And if it affects you on a mental and emotional level, it's going to affect everything else that you're doing. Real men don't cry. Don't believe that hype. Don't believe what people are selling you. If you need to cry, let that thing out. And the fourth one, men should be able to control your emotions. Maybe, maybe not. We all have that button sometimes to when it's pushed, we don't know what the outcome will be. But we can control our emotions. We have the ability, but the question is, are we going to do the work that's required for us to get the result that we're seeking in regards to controlling our emotions? And the last one, showing emotions equals weakness. When you show your emotion, you connect with other people. I remember I was in a therapy session, and as I sat there across from the doctor and I'm talking to him, this was a time just before me and my wife got married, and I'm sitting here and I'm crying on the couch, and he's just sitting there looking at me, listening. And then when it's that awkward silence, then I looked at him and I'm wiping the tears from my face. I'm like, I'm sorry for crying. I'm sorry. He said, Jonathan, what are you sorry for? Don't apologize for how you feel. Don't apologize for how you feel. And I want you all to understand that today. That's what I want the biggest focus to be. That's the final thought I want to leave with you for today's mental health moment. Whatever you're feeling, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling overjoyed, don't apologize for how you feel because you feel that feeling. Be present with whatever feeling that is and identify what you need to continue to nurture that feeling or to move forward from it. If you're feeling sad, anxious, overwhelmed, in those cases, see what you need to move forward. You need to talk to somebody. If you need to go for a walk, if you need to go work out, we want to move forward from that. But if we're overjoyed, if we're excited, if we're celebrating, be present in that. Celebrate. Celebrate hard. Don't allow anybody to tell you what you should feel and how you should feel. You're entitled to your feelings because it's your life. Friends, today the focus was 5 myths about men's mental health. If you're just hopping in, I would encourage you that you share this broadcast out so that we can continue to decrease the stigma around mental health and so that we can continue to help equip other people with tools and resources that they need to be successful. My name is Jonathan Jones, and if you want to find out more information on me, feel free to go to jonathanjonespeaks.com. I love to partner with different athletic organizations and as well as working with different corporations with young professionals just around the pillars of personal development, professional development, and mental health. So if I can be a resource to you, please let me know. But in the meantime, in between time, my friends, TEDx speaker and best-selling author Jonathan Jones reminding you to speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you want to live any other way?